Hi, everyone. I am going to do a soul contract reading on Trump. A soul contract reading. Actually, I'm going to do just a rather short overview of Trump using about 4 different modalities. But the main modality is soul contract. And the soul contract is based on the Hebrew numerology system. But I have taken the original meanings of the numbers and added a little bit more meaning, as well as adding in Gene Keys information on Trump and some of the Michael teachings on Trump. So I haven't really prepared for it. I'm just going to give an overview because so many people have done readings on Trump and they all say about the same thing. But I am choosing to do a reading on Trump now because I just feel it's time for enough of the reaction, enough of this hate and judgment and criticism, not just on Trump, but everybody in our lives. Okay, it's time for a little bit of compassion and understanding. It's time. Well, I'm very. I feel this point very deeply. It's truly time. If we want things to change in the world, it's time to treat each other with a lot more understanding. It's time for us to look at each other as souls in training, rather than human beings acting badly, okay? So I want to give a reading on Trump that shows where his vulnerabilities come from and why he acts the way he acts. Okay, and now, first of all, I am neither for nor against Trump. I'm neutral. I completely understand why he's in the position he's in. Number one, he chose it. And we'll talk about that in a second. But his personality and the way he reacts to life is no accident. He is our president. He is simply mirroring, that's a tough word to say, how we act with others. He is completely showing us our own reactions. And if we continue to keep reacting the same way, then nothing's ever going to change, and he isn't going to change. Okay? So yeah, I totally agree. He's a little reactive, and but it is built into his genes, as we'll find out. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is his soul age. And there are 7 different levels of soul ages, from infant to old soul or infinite soul. And he is a young soul. And by the way, this is my own intuitive speculation, so I'm not saying I'm correct. It's just what I get. So he is a young soul, and within each soul age, there are 7 levels of learning. Okay? So he is a young soul at around level age 5 of a young soul's life. And he's taken, and in each soul age, a soul will take on a role that he plays for the entire 7 ages of a soul age. I know that's confusing. So what I get from Trump is that he has taken on, for his young soul cycle of lifetimes, which can be hundreds of years, he's taken on the king role. Okay? And not every lifetime was he playing a king. But he played the king role probably in different roles. Say the king role being a father in one life, the king role being an artisan in one life. But in this role, he's playing the king as the king. And he's at level 5 in this young soul age. And what that means is at level 5 as a young soul, this is the time in that level that they press things to the limit. They're integrating everything that they've learned so far, and they're pushing everything to the limit. They are creating lots of karma, as well as clearing a lot of karma. So this is it's an intentional lifetime. He knew he was going to come in and create lots of karma and push things to the limits. And this life level is also all about money and wealth. So no surprise there. So he's playing the king role. And you have to know, before incarnating, he had to have known that he was going to be in a leadership position during this time of great change. So to me, that really indicates that he is most likely part of a group soul that is made up of warriors and kings that are all about transforming and reforming things on a global or universal system. Okay, this is like Archangel Michael. He is part of a warrior and king group collective soul. So anyway, this takes a very, very courageous soul to take on such a role at such a critical time in history. So while I don't agree with his personality reactions, I really admire the soul and the role that he's playing, because he's doing us a great favor if we would only listen. Okay, and so, and another thing, before I get to the reading, I know you wish I would hurry up. Why I'm asking for compassion, I mean, it's obvious why I'm asking for compassion. It's just time for more compassion. But, all of us, if you're watching this video, you're most likely on the spiritual journey. And I bet, no doubt, as you go along this journey and you're going through your purging and your dark nights and all this sort of stuff, I bet you expected and hoped for a whole lot of compassion from your friends and family, right? Well, Trump or anybody else in our lives may not be consciously on a spiritual journey, but we're all on a spiritual journey, whether we recognize it or not. So stop looking at each other as we're humans. We're souls. Some souls are in preschool, some are in elementary, some are in their university PhD programs. And these people in the PhD programs would never belittle the kid in preschool for picking his nose. Okay? That's how we need to start looking at each other. And I'll get off my soapbox. Okay, let's see. How will I do this? I think I'm going to show you, I'll just share my screen and show you his soul contract chart. And just remember, it's a combination. I'm not used to using this system, so I'm hoping you see me. Okay. This is a combination of systems. Let's close some of this stuff out. Excuse me while I finish this up. Because I'm hoping all you see is Trump's soul caught his numbers. So here we are, Donald John Trump. If this isn't his birth name, then the whole chart is wrong. But as you'll see, it's pretty dead on. And probably not a whole lot of new information, but it's kind of fun. Okay, so we're going to look at two sections. You see here that there's physical karma, talents, and goals, spiritual karma, talents, and goals, excuse me. The physical aspects are more of the conscious personality. He's very aware, as well as the whole world is very aware of these personality traits in Trump. Whereas the spiritual aspects are more unconscious and more really what his soul intended for him, where he really shines and where his troubles are hidden. Okay, so the number 22, the number 20 in Hebrew means fire in the head. Now, the irony, I mean, just look at Trump. And it's, if this isn't his name in his chart, I don't know whose it is. So fire in the head. Let me just get my notes here. I did make some notes. I haven't read in a long time, so I should have prepared. Yeah, the number 20 refers to fire in the head, and it refers to the very strict and rigid patterns of belief that dictates our life, that fire up our brain. But at the very genetic level, this has to do with the inability for him to access right brain thinking. He is all left brain, where he gets stuck in rigid beliefs. And of course, he received these rigid beliefs from his parents. So what this does is he literally, when he's in the shadow form, which he seems to be manifesting in quite often, is he is just, this is what this causes: strict, rigid thinking, knee-jerk reaction. Okay, we see it every day. This knee-jerk reaction comes from anything outside of this rigid belief, left side brain thinking causes a great deal of fear. Okay, you remember when probably somebody was trying to open your mind to new ideas and how frightening it was. Well, this is Trump. He's got it really bad. Somebody with the number karmic 22, this is extremely rough. There's a lot of fear. And the fear is fear of rejection. If that's what it feels like. Comes from a very tribal, primitive feeling. I have to have my own little tent, my own little tribe, my own way of thinking, and anything outside of that must be evil and bad. So he thinks in very delineated forms, which causes knee-jerk reactions, particularly within relationships. Okay. Another aspect about the 20 is it's all about movement. And in a karmic, it means no movement. And this means it's called war to peace. When somebody disagrees with him or does something outside of his structure, then he is immediately at war with him, because he's going to reject them before they can reject him. And he is so rigid, he will never say sorry first. It'll be a lifetime battle, okay? And when somebody is so rigid, this 20 karmic condition can lead to very up and down moods. So he's a highly moody person. I wouldn't be surprised if he was a little bipolar, okay? So, okay, let me see if there's anything else about this. Yes, this karmic 22, it limits, he has no access to right side. So this also means it kills all, doesn't kill, but it he has no access to a more spiritual way of thinking, right brain, spiritual. He's just really, really stuck. Okay. He sees things as good or evil, black or white. That's it. I'm never going to say sorry, etc., etc. Okay. Moving on. I'm going to try to keep this quick. So his talents here is the double fours. No surprise here. The 4 in Kabbalah or in Hebrew or in the soul contract system has everything to do with trust in the universe and trust in the prosperity and abundance of the universe. And it has to do with the ability to manifest. So no surprise, he has this as his talents. So he's exceptional at making money. I wanted to back up. The number 20 is related to the planet Saturn. And Saturn is all about, so he is also dealing with a lot of karma and creating karma, and he's working out some karma. He is facing the karmic board here. Okay, so he's really trying to learn to do things in a more principled fashion, but he is working out some karma on the public stage. So anyway, back to number 4, the physical talents of 4-4. The 4 is related to the sun. I mean, does he not look like a walking embodiment of the sun? Fire in the head and sun. But anyway, the 4 here means obviously he can manifest a lot of money. He has a real sense of self-assurance, and he learns things very quickly. The 4 is all about duplicating. So he can read or memorize things and learn things very, very quickly. So his intellect, he has a lot of intellect, but not so much intelligence. Intellect is the memorization of things, not, information. Whereas intellect is the ability to use your right brain and intuitive information and the heart. So he's extremely smart because he can duplicate and memorize and do all that, but lacking in the intelligence. So very smart, makes a lot of money, and he is not at all uncomfortable with radiating out like the sun. He has full confidence in who he is, his individuality, and he is just going to shine it out to the world without a care, which I admire, okay? Because I have karmic force, so it's hard for me to get out and shine in the world where he has talented force. So, okay, moving on. Let me see what else. Let's see. He really does. If he were to, which is in his physical goals, let me just jump to physical goals. If what it's asking him here is that number 21 is related to the mother energies, the using of intelligence, which comes from accessing your feelings and the spiritual side of your brain. Okay, so if I were talking to him, his ability to make the changes that he's here to make, because his goal is, the 21 is all about making the changes in your life to create your own path for freedom and rebellion from the system. This is his goal. And this is why he's president right now, because he feels this. But in order for him to be successful, he must access right side of the brain. And right side of the brain comes from feelings and opening up to more idealistic way of handling situations. So this is going to be we'll see if he can get there. Maybe if we show him some more compassion, he will be able to access this. Okay, so he's here to create his own path, make the necessary changes for himself and others to create more freedom and the ability for everyone to live in a more idealistic community. Okay, let me see. Look at my notes. I'm sorry, I should be more fluent, but I just wanted to do this on the fly. Yeah, I will say that the gene keys connected to this 21-3 are all about him. In the 21-3, if you're not reaching your goal here, then all it is constant conflict, okay? Fight, 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 conflict, conflict, conflict. But the gift aspects of this number and the gene keys is he is really here to bring humanity together and bridge humanity through compassion. I mean, that truly is his potential. This 21-3 is beautiful, beautiful energies, okay? Okay, let's hope he can get there. So, on his unconscious side, the double sevens, or the 7 in Hebrew, means the double-edged sword or tongue, the forked tongue, which means he isn't going to show you his true face. No one is seeing his true face. He's a control freak, and he puts on a show for everyone. He has no access nor motivation to reach any kind of emotional aspects in his life, because the pain to him would seem too immense. So I don't think anyone really knows the real Trump, because he puts on the facade. The karmic 7s are all about putting on a facade and controlling everything in your environment. This can be prone to not telling the truth, right? Because you have one public face where the world thinks everything is okay, and then you have the inner you. And, well, you're lying to the world and you're lying to yourself. So this also means that the karmic 7s, when they're trying to hide from their own, by the way, the karmic 7s come from an early broken heart. Somewhere his heart has been broken. And yes, he has a heart somewhere in there. We all have a heart. But karmic 7s, boy, when they get hurt, a wall goes up, and then the image of everything's okay comes up, and then 7s try to control their environment, control everything. And they make some of the best actors. They're fast talkers. They love to keep busy. Let me go over here. Let me do this. They never can sit still. Robin Williams is a perfect example of karmic 7. They have such a broken heart, but they put on a facade. They're fast talkers. They're fickle. Everything's okay. They look like they're joys of the world without a care. But it's all a facade. So I really doubt that he is telling nobody knows the real Trump, and I suspect he tells people what they want to hear. So, yikes. Hidden talents is 15-6. This is very similar to the 4s, but it just means he has this inner sense of purpose. He knows what he's here to do. He has absolutely no doubt about himself, not a speck of insecurity. He's very grounded, and he generates his own life force energy. When you're that grounded, that secure, and with these talented 4s, this is the energy of the Ouroboros. He creates his own energy. So this is just such a lovely, lovely energy to be so secure and grounded. And he makes the people in his life feel very secure and grounded. And that's back to the talented fours. They are so generous. They share everything with their friends and family. So he is very much a giver. Although when he's in fear mode, man, he can be jealous and hateful and spiteful. You know, we all move in and out of our shadow and gift zones. Okay, so his spiritual goals or hidden goals is to reach the six here in Hebrew is called the connector to spirit. And you connect through spirit, to spirit, either through meditation, contemplation, or creative energies. But his goal, his hidden goal, is to somehow find some way to go inwards, you know, take a breath, try to stop this reactive behavior out of fear and get even more grounded, but within in self, and try to find your idealism, the right side. Try to open up the right side of your brain. Maybe he needs to bring in highly creative people in his life because, you know, he's surrounded by a bunch of left brainers. Okay, what else? Okay, I think that's enough. So the soul destiny is equivalent to his overall life purpose. And the 10-1 is the energy of Archangel Michael. It is the energy of manifestation of God on the physical plane. And it's about service to others. He is here ultimately to be of service to humanity, to be the reformer of things on a global scale. But in order to do that, because the 10-1 also is about balancing male and female energies, the unity of male and female, Shiva and Shakti. So if he's really going to reform systems, he has got to balance out these two sides in himself. But this 10-1, his overall life purpose is to ultimately be of service to others, reform systems on a global scale, and at a personal level, the 10-1 is sort of a test for a soul because it's all about hard work. Are you going to use the connection and the power that you have in this lifetime with a level of integrity? Okay? Are you going to use your influence for good or for manipulation? Power for self, or power over others for self, for admiration, to feed the ego, or to empower others? I guess a lot still remains to be seen. Okay, I think that's all. That's enough for now. He's here to use his power wisely to reform systems. So there's no surprise. He is our president during this time. So please, please, please have a little bit more compassion and understanding. This is a soul that has taken on a huge role. And he is, I'm getting a little sensitive here, he is collecting a lot of karma on our behalf. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, that sounds like, you know, the anti, whatever. I'm not even going to go there. He is collecting karma, but also showing us our own karmic reactions. We have to stop it. Okay? So, you want understanding and compassion in your spiritual journey. The only way you're going to get it is if you stop judging others. See Trump as a young soul taking on a king role in order for him to take on massive amounts of karma so that you and I learn to let go of all of our baggage. And when we do that, we can lift this world up much faster than depending on one friggin' human being to do this all for us. Okay. I guess I'm off my soapbox now. Yeah, and if anybody else wants a soul contract reading, I'd be happy to do that. And that's my only sales pitch, not even a sales pitch. Okay. All right, until next time, bye.